So following my last two videos on the Forsaken drama, there has now been new very serious and concerning allegations against the ex-developer of the game, SoulDrivenLove, once again. As a result, a video comprehensively going over the situation has resulted in public perception towards SoulDrivenLove to completely shift against her, and eventually resulted in Soul stepping down and transferring ownership of Forsaken and announcing that she'll be making a response. I will also use this video to counter any false claims made that I deliberately withheld information or that I was bribed into defending SoulDrivenLove, so let's get into the new allegations. This video will not defend Soul, as that is their own responsibility. I will just be defending myself from misinformation and covering the new information. Now, the new allegations brought up involve SoulDrivenLove allegedly sharing illicit content of a 16-year-old which they catfished to get the image out of them, and had spread this image when they were posting it in a space where other saw it. Another allegation involved SoulDrivenLove allegedly posting a video of them engaging with a when they were which would be considered illicit content of a and then having posted this in a space containing other which saw the content, along with SoulDrivenLove allegedly extensively harassing people for numerous years and allegedly emotionally gaslighting them. So essentially, due to these new allegations spreading like wildfire across the Roblox Forsaken community and public perception shifting immediately, this has resulted in the same people who once agreed with my videos to now collectively throw me under the bus and claim many things against me that are categorically untrue. Instead of coming to the level-headed conclusion that I was perhaps lied to directly, or that I relied too heavily on Soul's response, as many other people did as well, this has now all been maliciously twisted by many children into claiming that I was paid by Soul to defend them and even bribed. Absolutely no proof was shown whatsoever behind any of these egregious claims, and this has also prompted other users to state that I was paid to do this in other instances too. Other people also even accused me of purposely withholding information to defend Soul, and that I somehow retroactively knew all the new extremely serious allegations shown in this video. For example, in reference to the extremely serious claims to do with Soul allegedly distributing revenge, illicit content of a people were acting like I somehow knew about this, when Soul literally stated directly to me that they had never distributed or posted illicit content before.
In terms of like the thing where it's like me saying I have like that's 100% just an edgy joke. I've never had in my life.
If these allegations do turn out to be true, then it would have meant that Soul directly lied to me, and the original creator of the video going over these allegations even stated that the evidence was unseen until now. So no, I did not know about these claims, and I did not purposely withhold them. In fact, the video I made in reference to SoulDrivenLove covers many other situations that were not directly addressed in this new video, such as Soul being the fake allegations, the Zenva situation, the Potato Isaiah situation, the swatting incidents, and etc. Many points made in that video were still logical, and while Soul may be innocent of certain cases highlighted inside that video, I never once stated that they were unilaterally innocent of other claims to come. In that video, I covered other allegations against SoulDrivenLove, with many people accusing them of having posted illicit content, which ended up being circumstantial and unprovable. However, these new claims seem to be much more credible. The idea and topic of conversation shouldn't be, oh, Parlo deliberately withheld information and lied. It should be perhaps people questioning what information was deliberately withheld in regards to me, because now I'm being thrown under the bus for what seems to be potential lies given to me. Now, something which is inherently malicious that the original creator of this video did was that they attempted to claim that I deliberately omitted information of SoulDrivenLove, allowing a disgusting to be around in their community weeks after having initially demoted them for their actions.
As a matter of fact, if you take note of both of Parlo's videos, you'll notice that there's never any mention of Stop by Blue at all, which is extremely strange considering that it's an incredibly big deal for to be residing within a Roblox community. Not even Soul's response regarding the situation is within Parlo's video, which you think a commentary YouTuber would add at the very least. But no, there's no mention of the event, and the stream that Soul answered about Stop by Blue is now unavailable to the public. Parlo choosing to omit this will be important to note for later. There is no accountability here, and this is an extremely important topic that I rarely ever see brought up.
This is a lie. I did not know about this situation under any circumstances, and the insinuation that I deliberately omitted this information just so no one knew about it is an extremely dangerous and misinformed claim to make. Essentially, Stopperblue, aka Dead Salmon, contributed to Forsaken by making 4 emotes for the game. It was revealed that they were a deplorable who actively roleplayed with numerous. Now, what is being claimed in the video was that Soul fired Dead Salmon from the team on January the 1st, 2025, with screenshot evidence from Soul themselves showing this. This was then followed by screenshots in March, 2 months later, of Stoppy being present in the server still, despite the mod team knowing that they had allegations, which is a justified point to criticize Soul and the Forsaken dev team for. But the inclination that I knew about this situation beforehand is inherently false. Now, the next situation to of course address is the new illicit content allegations being levied against Soul. Essentially, in 2019, Soul had allegedly catfished a 16-year-old pretending to be a woman and received illicit content from them. In 2021, when Soul was she was then seen in a server allegedly posting the illicit content of the 16-year-old directly in front of them and in front of other at the time, along with what others testified to be Parent archive screenshots and videos are shown at the time showing how Soul's accounts under her Robo alias was seen posting the content and talking about having this content directly to the person she got the images from. And to preface once again, this situation was unseen until now. I did not know about it and I did not purposely withhold it. Now, the next situation highlighted is in regards to Robo having allegedly shared an image of her engaging with a when she was and then posting this video to her friends in a Discord server. And this is something that is reasonably credible. Other screenshots were found of Robo bragging about not being a with Fungus making a joke comment in reply. In other screenshots, Robo is seen stating if they are going to get AIDS from it because they didn't use it. So this allegation is reasonably credible, and we should await to hear what Soul states in response to this because she really needs to address it. Now again, the video does also highlight a reasonable criticism. Soul, aka Robo, has oftentimes accused someone else of posting illicit content under their name and impersonating them, and she has named 2 users who did it. However, those 2 users are people that she is seen associating with only as of recently or last year, which is confusing. If they had impersonated her and were attempting to frame her for committing federal crimes, why would she still engage with them amicably to this day? Now, something which was maliciously done once again was that the original creator of this video attempts to spin a portion of my video made in reference to Isaiah and attempted to claim that it unilaterally applies to other victims of Soul who witnessed her allegedly posting illicit content regarding, and this was done in bad faith. The newer allegations of Soul having posted illicit content holds far more ground and is far more substantiated.
The idea that Parlo brings up in his video, in order to show Soul's innocence and call claims into doubt, is that the victims who were sent by Soul would have called the police. However, this is completely hindsight, since the victims did not know who Soul was or have any identifying information about him, as this all took place over Discord. It's notoriously difficult to properly report people over Discord. This also comes up as really disingenuous and trying to invalidate people who have experienced this. According to the National Resource Center, only 12% of is reported to the authorities. So the fact that something isn't reported shouldn't be used as evidence as someone being innocent.
I specifically stated that the allegations Isaiah made in regards to Robo were unsubstantiated because they were, and I also called into question why she dedicated her time and effort using accounts to 1. Harass Robo, 2. Push forward out of context and false information against them, and 3. Made memes with content that she claims to be which is disgusting, but would not dedicate any of that time to actually making a police report or forwarding this evidence to applicable law enforcement. I found that collectively really weird. I've even seen people try and defend Isaiah's actions in the comment sections, with users even attempting to do a full 180 in regards to this situation, attempting to lie about me and insult me, and yet Isaiah is even seen admitting on their own volition that yes, they did do things wrong. And what things, you may ask? Well, it is attested by numerous individuals that she allegedly collected illicit content of and also had posted illicit content of to numerous people. Of course though, all the serious allegations made towards Isaiah have been selectively ignored or omitted, not only in this video but by people also in the comment section, with people acting as if they were unilaterally innocent and absolved of any criticism, which is heavily hypocritical. Isaiah openly ran an account to harass Robo, but of course somehow these users claim that I lied about Isaiah regardless, with no evidence behind their claims being shown whatsoever. Now, a fair point to bring up was in reference to both Victim 1 and Victim 2/3 shown in this video. Although Victim 1 was briefly mentioned in my initial video on the Soul allegations, and Victims 2 and 3 were briefly mentioned in my part 2 on the situation, I agree that not enough context was added to build on how truly bad the dynamics and behavior were. Looking back on the situation, despite me prefacing the fact that Victim 1, Polylua, had consistently posted content in 2024 because it was a result of their and in which they were conditioned into thinking was right, the situation nonetheless had no relevance to the fact that Soul had allegedly pestered Polylua on their Robo alias, however then used another alias, being their Soul alias, to then try and comfort them and give them emotional support. That is undoubtedly really bad. Additionally, in reference to the other victims listed in the video, 2 and 3 being Chi and Nico, the video goes into extensive detail about that situation that a simple summary describing it would not suffice. But it details extensive harassment, Soul's alleged contribution to a mod that involved content of an avatar, and a whole lot more. Timestamps will be provided on screen of that video in case you wish to watch it after.
Parlo's video, the main source of information for outsiders, is filled with constant victim blaming, calling people bad actors, malicious, bad faith, and disingenuous, among other things. This is because many of the documents didn't filter themselves and had very blunt language. He says that they have no proof that Soul was avoiding addressing the situation in private. This just shows Parlo himself didn't do his due diligence to reach Nico's perspective, even though they were arguably by far the most important piece of this entire drama. It's clearly intentional as well. He just says that they wanted to pile onto the documents and says, of course, when they say it isn't for harassment purposes. He says that's convenient that the document was released alongside other documents, but know what I said earlier about the Me Too movement. I think it's more convenient that Parlo never went over the contents of the documents. Soul and Parlo wish to sweep the victims' experiences with him under the rug, as Parlo would classify their entire document experience as just malicious as a buzzword without ever going into what was actually inside it.
Now, the original creator of the video attempts to claim that I unilaterally attempted to help Soul to sweep victims under the rug. This is categorically untrue. In reference to the document highlighting the situation in regards to Chi and Nico, the document was completely removed and they had expressed the idea of contacting Soul in private and sorting out the situation with Soul directly. I received no communication via Soul or any party about any updates to the situation, and I didn't feel as if it was my place regardless to intrude on a situation which I believe to have been sorted out in private. From an outside perspective, it seemed as if this was all overblown, and I had believed it all to have been concluded and that they had retracted their claims, considering the fact that they had removed the document. The idea that I somehow knew that Soul had purposely avoided addressing the situation beforehand over the course of many years is misinformed, and had I known the extent of what the allegations were here and that I would have still defended them regardless is simply untrue. Now, I really do wish that people treat this situation with respect and maturity and don't make jokes about it. And for certain people as well to not rush into insane accusations without taking into account the context of the situation at hand. As a result of the main video having been released on Soul, Soul has stepped down from ownership of Forsaken and has transferred ownership to other individuals. And me and many others will be awaiting to see Soul's response to the situation. But if in fact I was lied to directly by Soul, I'm going to justifiably be pissed off. I also heavily urge you all to watch the video going over the situation, but I wish to preface that a few statements made in my previous videos on Soul do remain factually true. Soul is not innocent of other claims, that does not now make them guilty of disproven ones. For clarification, and I think this is the most important part to clarify, I was far too trusting in regards to Soul and their situation. In 2023, I had made a document calling out Soul and their actions, and I was harassed to hell and back with my personal information even being shown. It was a horrible experience, and stepping back and reapproaching the topic in 2025, and I thought that Soul was in fact innocent of many of the claims, as screenshots were maliciously taken out of context, and they were always very fast with their responses and always had an explanation to everything. I believed with my initial video that I was fundamentally doing the correct thing and correcting my wrongs from my initial 2023 document and call-out post. Now, while I do stand my ground against the inherently malicious and fictitious comments from Twitter users attempting to find anyone to blame, basically being me, I do take accountability for not pushing back on more of the information, which Soul was stating, and also not digging into the Nico and Chi situation specifically. Their document was deleted. However, I didn't know the reason for why that was the case, and it was also extremely hard to decipher what points were being made in them. However, I'd like to preface that many of the claims presented in my Soul video still do stand. I should have pushed back, and I should not have taken their word as holy gospel, but the only thing that you can deduce from this situation was that I was far too trusting of them, and I did not assume for them to have openly lied to my face about what they did. I was not paid off, and I did not see the crazy horrible information against Soul and decide to withhold it. This childish, pathetic idea that I knew all along is completely untrue, and that's why no one outside of Twitter will take a Twitter user seriously. As a result, I will reach out and contact victims and platform more of what they have to say, if they wish to contact me. But anyway, for clarification as this video ends, this video is not intended for hate, harassment, or cyberbullying whatsoever. This video is instead intended for educational and informative purposes only, going over the entire situation as a whole in a documentary style context. I'd also like to clarify that this video is intended for more mature audiences as well, as more mature themes are actively being discussed, so viewer discretion is of course advised. All necessary content has been sufficiently blurred, and this video complies with all of YouTube's community guidelines. And with that all being said, thank you all for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new, and comment your opinions down below about this situation, and join my Discord server to contact me if you wish or to get any updates. My Discord server is discord.gg/Parlo. And with that being said, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Goodbye.
Do